It's the most wonderful time of the year again, and that means it's time to rewatch some holiday classics. So today, I'm going to give you my top 10 family Christmas movies. Now, when I say family, that means no Gremlins or Krampus. If you've seen my top 25 horrors video, you know how much I love Gremlins. But I've always seen Christmas movies as ones that the whole family can sit down and enjoy together. Quick announcement before I dive into this list, I've been trying to post more in the discussion tab for the channel, just to let you guys know what I'm working on, and I also post some questions there every now and then, but it doesn't seem like anyone's seeing those yet. So if you have the chance to check that discussion tab every now and then, you might get a sneak peek into the next video, or even better yet, get to choose the next video. Thank you, that is all. Starting off the list at number 10 is It's a Wonderful Life. George Bailey is thinking about giving up on his dreams to help others and taking his own life, and on Christmas Eve. However, with the intervention of his guardian angel, Clarence, George is shown all the lives he has touched and just how different things would be in his community of Bedford Falls if he had never been born. It's a sad story that will bring out the joy in anyone. Even if you haven't seen it already, I can guarantee that you already know a few things about it because you've probably seen a parody of or an allusion to this film in some form. If the synopsis itself didn't ring a bell, I bet you'll remember hearing these words at some point in your life.
What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
This one is something special and it still holds up today in my opinion, and I think most can find enjoyment with this holiday classic. At number 9, I have The Polar Express. Based on the 1985 children's book, this film follows the legendary Polar Express and a few select kids who are on their way to see Santa Claus prepare to take flight on Christmas Eve. This computer animated, although mocap acted film shows us the power of believing in the things that we hold dear. The animation style, the soundtrack, and the story are truly remarkable and certainly make this a classic in my eyes. There's no way anyone watching this hasn't seen it already, and although this film wasn't accepted super well critically, I have yet to meet someone who is not a fan. Sitting at number 8 is a tie between the Muppets' A Christmas Carol and Disney's A Christmas Carol. I really love Charles Dickens' story of Scrooge being haunted by 3 spirits, and I think it's fair to share 2 movies for this story, since there are a lot of adaptations out there, and I think these 2 in particular bring something different to the table. Both of these are suitable for children, with the Muppets being hilarious and lovable characters, and Disney's being an awesome animation with the infamous Jim Carrey. I'd say the Muppet version is for those who want a sing-along filled with Muppets, while the Disney animation is for those who want a bit more bite in their Scrooge and darker elements. In other words, the Muppets is for parents who want to coerce their kids into being nice rather than naughty, while Disney's is for those who want to scare their kids into being nice. I love the music in the Muppets film, plus the Muppets themselves always put me in a good mood, but I love the darker elements and the innovative animation in Disney's version. It depends what I'm in the mood for, but I love these equally. And number 7 is one you probably haven't seen, Unaccompanied Minors. A group of preteens led by team leader Spencer, who are flying alone, get the chance to bond and create mayhem in the Midwestern Hoover International Airport on Christmas Eve. But when the grumpy head of passenger relations has his trip to Hawaii canceled due to a blizzard, he makes it his mission to capture the runaway kids who are just trying to save Christmas for Spencer's younger sister. This movie is such a guilty pleasure for me. I watched the heck out of it as a kid, and after sitting down and rewatching it the other week, I still find it hilariously enjoyable. I've always been able to connect with the group of kids, as most of them had divorced parents as well, which is the reason for them traveling unaccompanied. Directed by none other than the notorious Paul Feig, who has brought us such treasures such as The Heat, Bridesmaids, and a few episodes of The Office and Parks and Rec, Unaccompanied Minors is one that will forever remain on my Christmas list. At number 6, I have Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. This wonderful holiday classic tells 3 unique stories that teach valuable and heartfelt lessons about Christmas. The first teaches Huey, Dewey, and Louie the value of quality family time and the specialness of having Christmas only once a year. The second teaches Goofy and his son Max the power of faith, and the third tells a wholesome story of Mickey and Minnie making sacrifices for those that they love. I think we can all agree that this is the best animated Christmas classic. I watch it every year and I never tire of watching these iconic characters. Kicking off the top 5 is The Santa Claus. I personally love the second movie in this trilogy, even though I hear a lot of negative remarks about it, but the first one is a widely agreed upon Christmas classic. It brought something truly unique, telling the story of a somewhat grumpy businessman, Scott Calvin, who wants nothing more than to spend some quality time with his son Charlie for Christmas. But this all goes up in the air when he accidentally takes the mantle of Santa Claus. His ex-wife and her new psychiatrist husband Neil only create extra hurdles when they question the sanity of not only Scott, but of Charlie as well. This movie really packs a punch with its relatable yet far-fetched humor, as well as with the sentiment it provides watching Scott transform into the jolly and noble St. Nicholas. I'm always eager to watch this one every year. I love Tim Allen, I love the story, and the humor always lands for me, putting this one comfortably into my top 5. At number 4, we have Home Alone. When Kevin McAllister is left home alone by his family, he lives it up now that he's got the whole house to himself. But when the wet bandits come a-knockin', Kevin lays down a riddle of traps to burn and maim these criminals and save his house. And all the meanwhile, Kevin's mom is going to the ends of the earth to get back home so that Kevin isn't alone on Christmas. I simply adore this movie. Macaulay Culkin kills the role and carries this film, and Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern are hilarious additions as the wet bandits. John Williams' score for this movie always puts me in the Christmas mood, even though at times it's shockingly similar to Harry Potter. Either way, Home Alone is a Christmas classic that the entire family can enjoy and laugh at together. Before I dive into my top 3, here are a few notables that just barely didn't make the cut. Alvin and the Chipmunks came very close. I loved the Chipmunks as a kid, and I think the movie was a solid Christmas movie filled with fun and catchy music. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is a classic in a lot of households. I've only seen it once or twice myself, but I remember enjoying it a ton. Disney Plus's original Noelle made me laugh and filled me with emotion. With all the female reboots lately that have simply just fell flat, I think Noelle is the one that did it right and is one that other studios should look to for guidance. Lastly, one that I'm sad didn't make it, Die Hard. Die Hard is a bit too intense for 5 to 6-year-olds in my opinion, though I know many people who disagree with me. But for me and my taste, I wouldn't count this as a family Christmas movie. It doesn't really focus on Christmas aspects in general, which for me is what I want in my Christmas movies. This is as much a Christmas movie as Tim Burton's The Batman Returns, and I'm not really lining up to see that one on Christmas either. Sitting at number 3 is Ron Howard's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. On the outskirts of Whoville lives a mean old grumpy Grinch who wants to take revenge on those who wronged him and ruin Christmas for all of the Whos. This is one of the best Christmas stories out there, brought to us by none other than Dr. Seuss. Jim Carrey delivers an iconic performance as the legendary Grinch, bringing us laughs and tears as we watch the transformation of this lonely character. The filmmakers did an amazing job bringing Dr. Seuss's world to life. The story is fairly simple, but what makes it a classic is the characters and the world of a town who is, simply put, addicted to the holidays. So at the end of the day, this movie reminds us that Christmas isn't about the presents or lights, it's about spending time with your family, and for those who are more religious, celebrating the birth of Christ. My runner-up is a longtime favorite of mine that I watch every holiday season, Christmas with the Kranks. Luther Crank has finally decided to live up to his family name and skip Christmas. Though it takes some convincing, his wife Nora joins in on skipping all the traditions that they hold dear, including their annual Christmas party, which everyone looks forward to. They spend the season ducking and diving their tight-knit community so that they can avoid the cost of the holidays and instead enjoy a cruise together. Of course, nothing goes as planned, and when their daughter announces that she'll be coming home for Christmas, they scramble to put it all together last minute. This story is hilarious. As I've said before, I love Tim Allen, and for me, this movie is super relatable and makes me cherish my family and our own traditions. At the end of the day, it reminds us to be there for those that we love, even those who we might find difficult. But my favorite family Christmas movie is none other than Elf. In case you've been living under a rock, Elf tells the story of Buddy, a human raised by elves, who embarks on a journey to New York to meet his biological father. The soundtrack, the story, the acting, and the screenplay are all perfect in my book. The jokes are set up brilliantly, and the emotion that this movie does provide really hits you. There are a lot of lessons that one could take away from this film, but one that I like the most is be yourself and don't let anyone make you stop believing in or chasing your dreams. It's crazy that this movie is already 16 years old. It's old enough to drive. And if it ever comes back to the theaters for a limited time, you can be sure that I'll be driving to go and see it in the theaters one more time. There you have it, my top 10 family Christmas movies. Let me know what some of your favorites are down in the comments. There are a ton that I did not get to mention today that I'm sure a lot of people have in their top 10. So let me know in the comments which ones that you guys rewatch every year. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. We talk about almost everything entertainment here. But that's it for now. Take care and happy holidays, everybody.